What's up, Ego Hackers? Welcome to the C.S. Joseph podcast. I'm your host, C.S. Joseph. Today's acolyte question: how can I, as an ENTP archetype, protect the people that I care about and protect the people that I love from my introverted feeling trickster? What a great question. Very awesome question. Very happy about this question. So let's just get down into it, down and dirty with the introverted feeling trickster. Introverted feeling trickster, what it basically does is that it causes ENTPs, and this also applies to ESTPs, by the way. But what introverted feeling trickster does is that it causes these ETPs to become amoral people. They are very amoral. They lack morals entirely. The reason why is because from their perspective, anything can be a good thing, anything can be a bad thing. And it's all subjective. What is good and what is bad is just subjective. What really matters is just the facts. Just the facts. And this is how it works psychologically speaking, right? So, introverted feeling trickster ends up being that problem. It ends up being that main issue that a lot of people are just like completely taken aback by because of how pragmatic ETPs are. And in my opinion, this is their source of their pragmatism, is introverted feeling trickster. Is because as much as they're very ethical people, they don't have guiding principles in their life. And due to the lack of these guiding principles, they end up self-sabotaging themselves all the time. Or they actually end up bringing down other people in their lives in the process, which is pretty sad. It is very sad. It's a problem. Should watch out for introverted feeling trickster. You know, we end up like going beyond just committing social faux pas like an INTJ would with extroverted feeling trickster. With introverted feeling trickster, we are intentionally breaking the social rules, or even the rules in general. We're actually just breaking the rules, like with our extroverted thinking critic, because it's like, what's the point in following the rules? We don't even understand the principles behind the specific rules. It's not about social norms, it's about extroverted thinking rules, my bad. So, and they're going to break those rules. And they'll break those rules consistently. And that is a big issue, a major issue. So, watch out for that. Watch out for this standard rule breaking that these FI tricksters have. And when they break rules, they have a tendency to create negative consequences for other people in their lives, such that those other people end up suffering along the way. Suffering. They end up suffering a lot, right? And that ends up becoming a major, major issue. So yeah. Major, major issue. So anyway, folks, that's the problem with FI trickster. And how do you go out of your way to protect other people in your life from introverted feeling trickster? And this is basically where introverted feeling trickster needs to become a master. And it's all about principles. The problem is that introverted feeling trickster cannot create its own principles. It cannot really discover its own principles. They have to learn how to use TI parent and FE child as guidance functions to basically learn the principles of other people and then choose to adopt those principles of other people on a regular basis. They have to choose to adopt principles. So, major issue. Really big issue. Choosing to adopt principles. Big deal, right? So, when it comes to adoption of those principles, then they are more successful in life. Then they're not bringing down other people. The problem is that what they don't know is which principles to adopt. I, for one, within my own personal experience as an ENTP, I recently adopted the principles known as Dokudo, also known as the way of the Ronin or the way of walking alone. And I have decided to set out my life and follow each of the principles of Dokudo, which is Japanese Stoicism to a point. Yes, I still have to read the Agagure. I know, I will read that. But I really am enjoying Miyamoto Musashi's Dokudo and implemented the principles in my life, for which I am extremely thankful. Very thankful for. So yeah. So, and another set of principles that I've also discovered in my life and adopted were Bruce Lee's philosophy, the philosophy or the Tao, the way of Jeet Kune Do. And there's a book that categorizes all this and curates it together, a book called The Warrior Within by John Little, which is also a really good book, and I highly, highly recommend that specific book for ENTPs. There's a lot of other good books out there for ESTPs, like The Manual by W. Anton, and even though it's seen as a pickup artist book, it really just should impact every ESTP out there in a positive way. So that's a really big deal as well. So major issue. So yeah, anyway folks, it's important, it's a problem. You got to make sure that you have your introverted feeling trickster under control and entirely understood. It's a really, really big deal. Really big deal. Try to handle it. See if you can. It's all about adopting principles. And then eventually, as a result of adopting those principles, you'll have introverted feeling mastery. It's really what it comes down to. It's that amazing. It's that good, right? So adopt those principles, find those principles. And if you don't know, go to other FI users. Seriously, ask them what their principles are. Ask them what their standards are and why they have those standards and what are the principles behind those standards so you can learn principles as well. You can't just do it on your own. I mean, if you're reading books or researching, you're still technically going to other people because they wrote it. But you need to do the same thing from your point of view. You need to do the same thing. And, you know, it is what it is. Go to FI users. Find out the truth. Find out what they're all about and why they're all about it. Find out what those specific principles are. Because once you do, you will be able to adopt principles and try them out for yourself. ESTPs and ENTPs need to learn how to experiment with principles to see if the rules created or the standards created from those principles actually have any value. And actually try it out. For the ENTP, this is called the method actor of process or the method actor of systems, where we try on new things and new ideas, kind of like a second skin, to see if it works. And if it does, then we parse it out and parse out that second skin over time, which is absolutely incredible if you think about it, that we're able to do this. However, oftentimes when we're trying out these principles, it can really have a tendency to bother other people because it's like we're changing too much, wearing a mask, when reality is we're just doing a bunch of self-discovery and soul-searching. This is literally how ETPs soul-search. That's the point. That's how it works. So anyway, I've hammered this home. Thanks for watching and listening, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.